War is on the horizon, and it falls to our good Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, to try and figure things out. There are big hostilities between the land and the sea, with the catalyst here being a bunch of missing pearl divers. This conflict occurs within Bremervoord, who are at loggerheads with the Merman kingdom of Ys. Complicating matters further, the king's son Agalav is actually madly in love with the mermaid princess Sirens, whose romantic melodrama is the prelude to what could be utter destruction. That is, unless our Witcher can intervene and figure things out. Geralt goes on the hunt, and it doesn't take long before he figures out what's happening here. A mermaid is actually behind the attacks on the pearl divers. This woman took the shape of a kraken to make it seem like the Vodnik attacked the pearl divers. Sirens knew nothing about this, but instead, it was her evil, jealous auntie behind everything. This being the sea witch, Melusina. To make matters worse, the king was working with her the whole time in order to get Agalav to see sense. A big fight breaks out on the sea, as Melusina turns into a giant kraken and attacks the humans. Zelist is killed outright, broken in half, while the Vodnik attack on the barge alongside Melusina. She's bitter that Dahat took the throne ahead of her, something that's eaten away and caused the woman to become mad with rage. Sirens tries to reason with her, but a Gloval shows to save his beloved. The king saves his son from the Vodnik, but also pushes him off the boat into a small barge below where Essie is waiting. Geralt saves Essie from a Vodnik as she makes her way up onto the boat, and fights off the Kraken one-on-one, while the king hurts Sirens and kicks her into the water. Geralt destroys the Kraken and ends the Sea Witch's reign, while Agalav is desperate to find his beloved. He saves the king, regardless of his past actions, while Sirens is healed by her mom. Agalav gives a big speech about living in peace together, and the fight ends. The king apologizes for his actions in the wake of all this, while Agalav is determined to marry Sirens regardless. There's a potion that will turn her into a human so they can get married, but Agalav decides to turn into a merman and head to the depths instead. Of course, this is going to cause havoc for the lineage of the throne, given the king has lost both sons and thus will likely plunge the kingdom into anarchy upon his death. The Witcher points all of this out to the king, minus the anarchy part, telling him he has nothing left. In the wake of this, Geralt and Essie make love, but Geralt's heart is, of course, taken with another already. That being Yennefer. The pair do eventually leave, their work done, and bid their goodbyes to Essie, ready for the next adventure. For those who have read it, the ending to this story in the book is very different. Sirens is the one who decides to make a sacrifice in the name of love and becomes a human, living on land and marrying Agalav. This, of course, securing the bloodline for the king and simultaneously keeping the peace between the merpeople and the humans. Geralt and Essie actually never meet again after their fateful encounter here. Within the book, we cut to 4 years later, where Essie has died from smallpox in Vizima. Jaskier shows up and buries his friend with her lute and the blue pearl. Furthermore, Geralt is not indestructible or flips about like an acrobatic Superman like he does in this movie. There's no giant squid fight, nor is there a cringy musical number from the evil ant attempting to audition for a Disney movie. Instead, this story is very much character-driven and designed to show that Geralt has flaws, both within his personal and professional life. He's not an unstoppable Witcher and does make a ton of mistakes. Not as many as showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, of course, but mistakes nonetheless.